Hello again, good evening to you. We're still celebrating 25 years of joy. My name is Aboagye-Wiafe. Welcome to Business Live. Coming up this evening, Telecoms Chamber assures of stable data during lockdown period as Finance Minister calls for reduction in cost of data services. Also coming up, Ghana Union of Traders Association GUTA cautions artisans at Swami Magazine Industrial Hub to comply with government directives on movements. And on the Joy Business Fund today, we speak to entrepreneur behind payment platform BetonPay, which could prove useful as we try to limit physical contact in the midst of coronavirus outbreak. These are the headlines, of course. We have other stories coming up. Don't go. Hello again, welcome back to Business Live. The Ghana Union of Traders Association GUTA has called on its members to comply with government's directive to stay home in a bid to contain spread of the coronavirus. The leadership is worried because some artisans are still opening their shops at the Swami Magazine Industrial Hub to do business. They also observe some unscrupulous persons breaking some of the shops of the artisans. Ashanti Regional Chairman Anthony Opong says the union is collaborating with the police to stop it. He's been speaking with my colleague, Prince Apia.
The reason has been that most people think, why should the government stop them from doing their businesses? Because it's not the government that gives them their chop money and that who cares for their case and whatever. So we are employing our people that it's not about the individual situation, it's about the whole country and it's about the individuals in this country. If the coronavirus assumes the dimensions that has been taken in Europe, it's going to be very catastrophic for the nation. So we are employing everyone to adhere to the situation, to the directive, so that we can help solve the situation. Okay. For those who feel, despite the directive, they just want to go about doing what they've been doing normally. As the president stated, these are not normal times. The statement has become necessary in view of the fact that people think, why should the government stop them from going about their own businesses? But it's not about their individual businesses, it's about the whole nation. Because if you contract the disease and you go home and your family get infected, you are going to spread it, further escalating the situation. So it's good that they listen to the directives, obey it, and we all get our freedoms to work, go back to our businesses after everything has subsided.
What happened to those who are still going to Swami Magazine to work now?
Yeah, we are taking this opportunity to appeal to them to adhere to the directives because it's about all of us. So I've learned just before this interview, I learned some people have taken advantage of breaking shops at Swami Magazine, which from here I have to go there and check what it is. So as more people out of worry are going there to check whether their goods are safe, and some people also out of recalcitrant attitude going there to make sure they can go about their duties and maybe get something out of it, which is very bad. So we are appealing to everybody to obey these directives so that we can all get our freedoms. This disease will come past and we all get the freedom to go back to our jobs.
With this issue of people breaking into other shops, have you communicated to the security agencies to help you addressing this?
Yeah, somebody just called me from magazine. So just as I received the call that you came here, so from here I'm going to speak to the divisional commander at the Swami Magazine so that he will send the men there and make sure they can stop them if actually it's happening, because I haven't seen it. It's just a telephone call that I received. So I just want to go and verify and talk to the regional commander, the divisional commander, so that he can send some men there to stop those people who are going about doing that.
Okay. Now, city authorities in Kumasi have closed the Dr. Mensa Market to business until traders there respect the social distancing protocol against COVID-19. The moves comes after the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, led by the mayor of CBNP, realized that traders had defied government and health professionals' directives of social distancing. Prince Apia again has more in this report.
The red tape about Aboha, as I said, you are not allowed until the 14 days will be among coffee.
Angry Kumasi Mayor of CBNP instructing the security personnel to tape the Dr. Mensa side of the market. He led the operation after a trader is said to have engaged a soldier in verbal exchanges over enforcement of anti-coronavirus protocols. Some traders who spoke to Love News admitted some recalcitrant colleagues went overboard in the encounter with the soldiers.
It was 8 a.m. when the security came here and asked us to distance ourselves because we were selling too close to each other. So there was this lady who started exchanging. With them. So they sacked all of us.
City Mayor Aboagye-Wiafe drove the traders away from the Dr. Mensa Market for disregarding the government directive on social distancing against COVID-19.
Yesterday when we came, we didn't like how dirty the place was. Also, they were not observing the social distancing directive, so we cautioned them. For today, we have asked them to go home. We will cordon off the place, which means they should keep off. Nobody would trade here again. From here, I will discuss the issue with the regional minister.
The group also observed the environment the traders were operating was very dirty. Mr. Aboagye-Wiafe again.
Why do you want to sit in the field?
If we don't take care, we will focus on coronavirus and forget about cholera because the rains will set in soon.
We are preaching the truth. The distancing is there, the regular hand washing is there, and the sanitizing is also there. But the general cleaning is also part of it.
Meanwhile, the traders say they have learnt their lessons and are prepared to change for the better by observing social distancing and also cleaning the market regularly. Prince Apia reporting.
And in Accra, tomato merchants at the CMB Tomato Market in Accra are lamenting the negative impact of the President's directive on movement restrictions and the impact it's having on their businesses. According to them, though government exempted them from the restrictions, law enforcement agencies mandated to carry out the directives have become an impediment in their way. In an interview with Joy Business, Queen Mother of the Tomato Market Dealers, Charity Otumfuo, said retailers are not permitted to come through to purchase them. There's more in this report. President Akufo-Addo imposed a 2-week partial lockdown on Accra, Tema, Kaswa and Kumasi from Monday, 30th March. This formed part of efforts to stop the spread of the coronavirus in the country and ensure efficient contact tracing to patients. However, some service providers, including members of the food value chain, were exempted from the restriction. But according to Market Queen of CMB Tomato Market, Charity Otumfuo, the law enforcers are acting contrary to the President's directive and causing them to encounter heavy losses.
After the directives were given, traders could come to the markets to trade, but now the police are chasing away our customers and preventing us from having access to the markets.
Because the bar woma now woman no yebe ne de e kwan so a the lorry fence also and yes say
the tomatoes are rotten because the retailers can't come here to purchase.
Car we see we buy and the whole day will be and see her. And then so one buy our mobile police for a barrier.
She called on government to take a look at the situation and address it. Some tomato wholesalers also spoke with Joy Business concerning the situation.
And now who said please the so
Yes, yeah, Tony on my ye 20, Yamapam Yama Coffee. Says as soon as my imuna here for no dorsal.
Today, we were here and the police pounced on us because we were selling. It is not fair. We are selling the tomatoes way below the right rate. Government should rather embark on house-to-house testing.
For now, the tomato dealers are complying with orders of the police to avoid any eventuality. Let's turn attention now to one of our top stories. The Telecoms Chamber has assured it will do its best to provide stable data connection for consumers during this lockdown period. This comes as a response to the Finance Minister's call for telcos to reduce the cost of data and telecommunication services to small businesses. CEO of the Telecoms Chamber, Kenneth Ashigbe, joins me now via Skype for some further comments on the situation. Good evening, sir. Welcome to Business Live.
Good evening.
Now, before we get to the reduction in the cost of data, has COVID-19 hit the industry directly or indirectly in any way?
Well, definitely the scourge has hit every industry. You know that for our industry, for example, a lot of the inputs in terms of critical equipment has to be imported. So the challenges that you face with global logistics definitely impact what you can do. So there are a lot of orders that our members have placed that are still not in yet, and we're still doing plans to be able to bring them in. But generally speaking, you have your staff, you have your customers, you have your agents, you have your suppliers that would all have to also abide by the protocols that have been given. So you know that most of our staff are working remotely, working at home. A lot of our agents and all of that would also know they are part of the essential services. Yeah, they're also impacted. And generally, because telecommunication service is not completely inelastic, when consumers have challenges that they face with money for food, water, and all of that, definitely the impact will come in terms of even demand. But definitely what we are beginning to see is a surge in the growth in the demand for internet services.
Okay.
But unfortunately, you know that the networks are not unlimited. The capacity is not unlimited. So we are currently focused on ensuring that the networks are available, it's stable, and also consumer experience is not affected by this surge. And so that's what is taking a lot of our attention.
I would like to know from you whether the chamber would accede to the proposal made by the Finance Minister to reduce cost of data.
Well, you see, what's happening is that you need to balance the need for data to do critical work. People who are working from home, students who are at home, people who need it to be able to use emergency services. You need to balance that with people's desire to be able to get access to the internet. So what you find out that we've done is that we have zero-rated the website for the Ghana Health Service. There are other ministries' websites that have also been zero-rated. The educational websites have all been zero-rated. The Ghana Education Service just brought out a particular website that students can go to. All of these, our members are zero rating. We also are working with government to be able to zero rate some portals that government workers need to be able to have access to the website. As a chamber, we also are working with the Ghana Health Service, the NCA, the Ministry of Communication, to provide some free services. So the 112 number and the other numbers that Ghana Health Service was doing, for example, you could call that, it was zero rated, so you could call that for free. Right. Also, we are sending messages to consumers for free. But what we don't advise, because of what we've seen in other markets, is that 100% zero or reduction for everybody. If you are not too careful, people who are just using the especially a lot of entertainment and all of that, I block the network. So you find out that in other jurisdictions, people are even asking companies like Netflix and YouTube to minimize the file sizes. And even for us as the chamber, we'll be issuing some recommendation for fair usage of internet, so that we can ensure that when it comes to critical need for the internet, some of these have been zero rated. Some our members are also giving some particular packages and all of that. But we ensure that the networks are constantly available for people to do critical things, and the networks are not shut down.
All right. That will be it for now. Many thanks for your time, Kenneth Ashibi, the CEO of the Telecoms Chamber. We're still on Business Live. We're taking a short break here. We'll be right back after this. And it's a Wednesday, now time for the Joy Business Van. As the coronavirus pandemic worsens, our way of doing things is changing, including how we pay for goods and services. That's one thing we have to accept. Today on the Joy Business Van, we learn about a payment platform, Vitonpay, which allows users make fuel purchases and pay for transport services with an app. Due Prince Nuni, the techpreneur behind Vitonpay, is our feature today on Joy Business Van.
September 2019 is an important milestone for Due Prince Nunue. That was when his payment platform went live after years of trying to start a business and failing several times at it. But it was an incident in a commercial bus, or chocho as we call them here in Ghana, that triggered a business idea.
The mate was fighting over a change that a passenger was asking for. So the passenger was like, mate, where's my change? And then the passenger was like, the mate was like, I don't have the change now, so I have to get down and go and change, and then therefore give your money. How much was the change? It was just 20 pesos.
Due Prince felt the urge to create a platform that would make payments more convenient. He began to speak with people, do his research on how viable such a platform would be, work with his team to develop the service, and reach out to potential investors.
It started from 2017, the idea conceived. 2018, the whole preparation began to take off. So in all, it has taken almost 2 years in preparing this system. And then we just launched out in September. So the app, how it works is one, you just download it from Play Store, and two, you enter your KYC, your details and everything. And you make sure that you enter it with your number. It should be a mobile money number that you're going to put in. Then after, you get an OTP, and then it takes you to the dashboard. Now when you go to the dashboard, you have your scan to pay, you have your balance, my account, you have your transfer, and then you have your settings.
Users have a card just in case their phones run out of battery. The card is used on a point-of-sale device. Not that and I get to have a feel of the Vitonpay experience.
You go into Vitonpay app, you go to scan QR code, you scan to pay, you click on it, and then you just, it picks the QR code, you enter the amount, then you make the payment. Right now, as we are even going, we are sitting at the back. The driver is the one driving. The driver's focus and concentration should be on the driving for my safety. Nowadays, there are a lot of accidents happening on the road. So what we're looking at is that if I'm sitting at the back here and I get to my destination, or as we are in the move, I pick money, I give it to the driver. I have to tap the driver and give the money to the driver. Now, as the driver turns, there could be an accident that can happen on the go. Going to have is that it's going to have a focus on the driving, and then the passenger will just conveniently scan the QR code and then make the payment, and it will hit his account. All that you have to do is to confirm that you have to receive the money.
So then anytime they broadcast, they just scan them, everything goes on. I think you saw some customer. We are one customer back. That's it.
In just about 6 months, 100 taxi drivers have signed on to Viton Pay, and there are about 500 users and still counting. DuPrince is working really hard to reach many people with his payment platform and already exploring new services.
So you're not just engaging taxi drivers or ride-hailing firms, you want to target fuel stations.
Yes.
Tell me about that as well.
So with the fuel station, for instance, we are having the Puma in talks to give us some terminals.
Okay.
We are in talks with Total to be able to give us about 10 terminals to pilot from, and then with people. Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
That's interesting. So the talks are still underway.
Yes, on the way. So that so that in the future drivers will be able to use the card to buy fuel, and then companies will be able to, fleet owners will be able to send their drivers to buy fuel at this terminal.
Okay. The strong penetration rate of mobile phones and the expansion of internet connectivity make the widespread
You can catch another edition of the Joy Business Van next Wednesday on Business Line. And that's it for this evening's edition of the program. My name is Emmanuel Aboagye-Wiafe. For more business news, log on to myjoyonline.com/business, where we have a summary of the day's news items making headlines today. Thanks so much for your company. Have a good evening.